I use the Facebook Business Manager. Pretty much if you have a Facebook account, you can log in here. It will walk you through the steps of creating your manager account. That way you can, I'm going to switch between browsers. You can then begin to create ads, and there's multiple configurations of ads that you can create. We'll just go ahead and start setting one up. You've got brand awareness, you've got reach campaigns. If you have a website or you have a page that you're trying to drive traffic to, we could do traffic campaigns. If engagement is what you're looking for, people to share, like, you want them to comment, that's a great avenue. If we were pushing out apps, we could look for people that are looking for app installs. Say we're looking for video views. Videos right now are super hot. John can tell you it is. If you're not doing video in your business right now, you are behind. And you need to figure out a way to, even if it's some 15-second Instagram shorts, just whatever you got to do, please do video. It's super important. Ask Roger Mills. He will tell you. He knows. If you're looking for messages, there's even targeted audiences for messages. And each one of these, Facebook's going to weed out the people. If you're trying to drive traffic, they're not going to show ads to people that only like and share. They're going to show ads to people that actually click and deep dive the link. If you're looking for engagement, they're not going to show ads, especially to people like me who don't like or share anything. They're just not going to show them to me. I'm bad about wanting to click on the link and see what the product is and go from there. If we were in e-commerce, they have a complete section for e-commerce. We can base things off of conversions. Say I need a return. I need a return of, I'm willing to pay $7 to make $20. I put it in there and say, this is what I'm willing to do. And it'll go out there and it'll find me folks. Catalog sales. Nobody, who else is on here? Same group. Does anybody do e-commerce? No. We won't dive into that. Somebody spoke.
I was going to let them know, yeah, if you want to mute yourself and speak, Jason's going to make this more of a casual thing, so feel free to jump in the discussion if you want to on this one.
If anybody did do e-commerce, this right here is basically where you're going to hang out. Store traffic, catalog sales. I'll show you just real quick, what catalog sales look like. If I can move. I've got a screen over here that's hid from me. Catalog sales get really, really cool because what you can do is you can take this guy and you can, everything that you've uploaded to Facebook, what you can do is you can randomly start sending them product details of things that, they probably were already looking for. It's called dynamic ads. It's pretty much the way to the future. It's unbelievable where we started and where we're heading. But for the most part, most of everybody, if you're not running an e-commerce store, you're looking for some kind of brand awareness where you're trying to drive traffic to and from, and you're wanting to be able to see instant gratification. People liking, sharing, and commenting, showing up in the grocery store and saying, "Oh, I saw your ad on Facebook." That's nice. Nice. But where you would begin would be engagement. It's pretty easy to start. You would come, you create a post. We're just gonna make something up. We're gonna say if it's an event, we'll say event. I always date everything. That way I can keep up. Facebook's bad about hiding the dates from you. If you had special interests, does anybody do housing, real estate? No. Does anybody do any financial advising? Anybody do any political stuff?
Yes.
There's special categories to those things. You've got if you do financing or any kind of financial advising, you need to get verified to do those things. If you're doing employment offers, you've got to have disclaimers. If you're doing real estate, there's a course. All these courses, if you're unfamiliar with any of these things I'm talking about, and they do relate to you, there is a great resource called Facebook Blueprint.
Kathy had a question in the chat. She said, "Do I need to create a separate business manager account
Create a separate business manager.
to go to the business manager?" I guess
Do you already have a business manager that you're currently working in?
I don't know. I have a Facebook account and I manage 4 things.
Do you just go to your personal Facebook account and then begin managing the page?
Well, it comes up, it says something about business manager. I don't know.
Okay. You've got my email, Kathy. Send me a screenshot of where you're working from, and then I can kind of point you in the right direction. And
Okay.
that goes to anybody here. I'll be glad to help anybody that can. The best place to learn and get these certifications is through Facebook Blueprint. It will walk you through everything you need to know about the Facebook, Instagram platform. It is endless, vast. There's some things that might not pertain to you. And they've got it broke down into different courses, different programs, different certifications.
Jason, is there a cost for those?
No, they're completely free. Facebook wants you to spend money with them. So they give you the blueprint of what they're looking for. There was a trend several years ago where they wouldn't show ads that had 20% text on them. That has since changed. But they tell you directly in the Facebook Blueprint, hey, you can do ads now with more than 20% text. We won't show it as much, but you can do it. So, I mean, if you read between the lines of what they tell you, they're gonna tell you exactly how to get the most out of it for your money. I highly recommend doing that course for everybody that even thinks about pushing the boost button, just for the simple fact I've wasted thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars trying to figure out what I needed to do and see what works. Don't do that, and definitely don't get in the rat race. I'm going to try it out with my $5. That $5 is not going to go anywhere. Just keep your money and wait till you get ready to do something. It's worthwhile.
The certifications, does it take a couple days, a couple weeks?
Each little class, they try to keep them about 30 to 45 minutes.
Oh.
What's in the certification? Is it just telling you the best way to create an ad?
It could be from anywhere from creating an ad to how to get verified to run political content, how to run. It just really depends on what your niche is, and there's 60 billion niches out here. If you're into real estate, there's a whole section in there that's devoted to real estate. unless you're just some dummy like me who went through and did them all because I work with a vast group of people. You're not going to probably do that. You're going to find what you do and stick to that. Also inside here, you will see if you don't have any of these special categories, and Facebook's going to tell you as soon as you make that purchase, whether you are, hey, you're trying to do housing, they'll just deny your ads. You won't get to do that. Or if you're trying to run a political post, it'll just deny your ad and you won't get to run it, which I'm sure you've done.
Whoever was doing it for me, I don't know.
So if you're not just hitting boosts on your ad, what do you need to be doing that's better to help get your ad out there?
I suggest if you're here, the big thing that I try to do on a daily basis is I test my creative. And it's always funny because the creative, whatever it is that you put together, some things affect different people differently. So you can do different things. You can run an A/B test here to find out which ad is going to look the best, which one's going to perform the best. Here you can set a budget. I usually try to do at least a minimum of $50 a day. If it's kind of a weekend campaign and I'm doing that's local, maybe just in Etowah County, I'll at least throw it up there at $150 for the weekend. And what I'll do is I'll do a lifetime deal. So once we set our budget, we got a lifetime budget or a daily budget. You'd come through here and we would hit. Of course, you've got more options. You want to schedule this at a certain time, you can. I usually come over here, and this is where we start building out the audience. So we're going to do anybody that is 28 years old, 28 plus, that lives in Gadsden with a 50-mile radius. I always just spell it out. I'm going to set an end date. I'm going to run this ad. To get the most out of an ad, I usually try to do at least a minimum of 7 days. Unless it's just a one-off topic and you do it hot and heavy for 24 hours or something like that. But I usually try to do 7-day ad speed, at least. Here we can begin to build out the audience. We can set the location. We can either pick anybody that's living or recently in this location. We can only do people living in that location. Let's say we're working with the Blue Ridge Tourism Society. We can do anybody that is traveling to that location. Here we go. Anyone traveling in this location in the past 365 days. Or we can set it 30 days. But for the time being, we're just going to pick our home right here, which is Gadsden, Alabama, which sometimes doesn't want to pop up. We do what we wrote at the top. We're going to set it to a 50-mile radius. And here we can home in our audience. If you don't want to do a radius, we could do zip codes. So we can do 35901, and this is what's called geofencing, by the way. We do 35903, 35904, and so forth.
Is there a limit on those?
No, you can actually come over here, and this is a little more fancy, but you could clear these out. You could actually come here and we could, if you have them in spreadsheets, we can bulk upload them. You can either bulk upload them by cities. See, if you do them by cities, it's going to do a circular radius around it. If you do it by zip codes, it's going to get it pretty doggone precise. let's say you want to, I don't know, let's say you want to make sure that every time somebody goes to visit one of your competitors, you want to show them your ads. Here you can put in the street addresses. But it's pretty endless.
Specific.
Could I do it by county, then kind of comma,
Yes.
2 zip codes in Marshall County?
Yes.
You know, Etowah County plus 2 zips.
You can divide it out pretty good. It's pretty wild.
They know that.
If you were to take you can even take Glencoe. There's 2 sides of Glencoe. You got the Hokes Bluff side of Glencoe, and then you got the south side of Glencoe. You can even divide that out pretty precisely.
Almost like drawing on a map.
Yeah. From there, we can set age, which we said before we were going to do 28 years of age.
Interrupt. So, sorry, I'm
Yeah, go
Craig. I'm Craig, and I'm library, Gadsden Local Library.
Hey, Craig.
So our service area is Gadsden,
Right.
and then the rest of it, Etowah County.
Okay.
Minus Oaks Bluff, because they have a library, Glencoe, because they have a library, Southside. So we get the unincorporated area like ball play.
Okay. Let me show you how.
So I'd like to do Gadsden plus ball play plus Wharton's Bend.
So what you would
Do you want to
do?
reiterate his question in there to people? They might not be able to hear him as well out here.
Yeah,
So,
please go ahead.
or you can too.
What Craig is asking is how to exclude an area. So if we wanted to do all of Etowah County. Etowah County. Facebook would work with me this morning. Etowah County. Alabama. So we've selected Etowah County, Alabama. But we want to exclude Oaks Bluff.
I'll be done.
What is that? 35905.
35905.
That excluded all of Glencoe.
And leave it like that.
Yes.
I get it. Yep.
So that's pretty much how you do it.
That's cool.
If you want to say, I want to do all of Etowah County, but I do not want to do 35901. You can carve it out just like that. It's pretty vast. It's a lot of controls just right here at your hand, especially for something that you can do. If you want to do, now this is tricky. Like you can't, like if you're doing real estate, you can't exclude real estate and finance. You can't exclude gender. But let's say I do some work for a woman's boutique. I only want the women in this area. I do not. The guy, he's not going to be buying, 19-year-old girls' clothes. I hope not. But you can do that, and here we can set demographics. Let's say I want people to like the band Leonard Skinner. That's all I'm looking for. I mean, you can type that in there, and there it is. I want people that like Leonard Skinner. Well, maybe I want to say I want people that don't like Leonard. I don't want anybody that likes Leonard Skinner because I know they're not going to like my product. So I can put those in there, and I can do that. Or let's say I don't think I will be selling my app to anybody that has an iPhone 4. Anybody that owns an iPad 4, we do not want those people. So you can take those out.
Specific.
It's pretty.
How about this one? I got a kids event coming up.
Okay.
So I'm looking for families and kids at a certain age, let's say up to 12 years
So you want parents.
Yeah, so, yeah, families.
So
But I don't need guys like me.
we
hanging around
want, we
kids.
want parents with children, what, 9 to 12 years old? Is that what you said?
I'll take them all the way up to 12.
Okay, so you would come through here and you would do parents. You would just keep selecting until you built out. I think they go in increments of 3 years. So you would just go parents with toddlers, parents with.
Wow, that's incredible.
Doesn't it
And-
open your eyes up to what Facebook is doing? Like,
Well, I mean, we give Facebook everything. We tell them what we like, what we don't like. We tell them how old we are. We tell them who we're friends with. We tell them where we go. So, I mean, they have a pretty good database to go by. And if you think that's scary, check out, come back and I'll do a Google thing with you. And then that, of course, they want you to have a free GPS on your phone because now they know what you like to do, where you go.
They pull data from all over, not just Facebook, don't they?
They do, and that's been a big controversial issue. Apple has been in extreme litigation with them for the past couple of years, and they have just now put limits on to what they track on your phone. I'm sure everybody, the last update, received this notification. Do you want to allow Facebook to do this? And what's crazy is how many people opted in for it.
Well, if they're like me, they probably don't understand.
Yeah. Probably not, but it's an overwhelming amount. It backfired on Apple. So Facebook still has that.
John, right?
Yes,
John,
sir.
can everybody hear me?
They might have a harder time hearing the mics and the laptop up here. So
Okay.
if Jason wants to
Okay.
reiterate your question.
So maybe I'll save this till the end. Because I'm a rookie with this stuff, okay?
Okay.
It's all right? No. So the library, we've got 5 Facebook pages.
Okay.
They were set up years ago. Okay? And so me, the ladies at the library, they go onto the page, let's say the kids page,
Mhm.
and they'll post something about an activity that's coming up. And then they post it, and we hope people come. That kind of thing. It sounds like to me, maybe keep our pages, but we don't have a business page, per se. That's what we're calling our business page.
I would create a business
Yeah,
page.
so I need a business page where I can do all the advertising. And,
Yeah. What's one of the Facebook pages? Let's just do
Gadsden Public Library.
Gadsden
That'll
Public.
be our main one.
Lord, I'm going to tell what pops up on my Facebook page. Gadsden Public Library.
Yeah.
So this is the page.
That's one.
This
Yeah.
this is your business. This is a business page, and you can do all the things that we're talking about doing from this page. But you have to create a Facebook business manager,
Okay, that's what we haven't done.
which works with that business page.
Okay.
And there may be a chance that Facebook has created one for you. You just may not know how to access it. But the easiest way to do is just type in Facebook Business Manager and see what pops up on
Like
it.
go.
Yeah, then you can go through the steps and then do what you need to do. Pre-COVID, posting daily was a waste of time.
It takes a lot of time, you're right.
It was a waste of time, and it was very time consuming. You weren't getting anything out of it. But since COVID has begun, there's been a little bit more love in the organic realm. So I would continue doing it. But when you do have a special event, I would start.
There's one like, we had that last night.
I would start looking to allocate some dollars to promote that event. I mean, if you want to have a successful event, it takes money to make money.
Sure. What's a typical ad? Maybe, and it's gonna be all over the place, but what's a typical ad cost?
in the target range that you're talking about advertising
It just,
in,
it's just us in the county.
if you would allot $250 for an event like that, you would definitely see a change in the numbers of them.
Cool.
For sure. The more you spend, the more you reach.
Sure.
But the purpose of setting the demographics is to weed out the people you don't think is going to be into what you've got going on. And there's even further things that we can go down. I'm going to close this out for just a second. There's other things that we could look at doing that are a little bit more advanced. I told Will that we probably wouldn't talk about these things, but since you're asking, I'll be glad to show you. You can create custom audiences that are pre-built. Let's say we want to create an audience. We want to create an audience to anybody who has ever gave you an email, signed up for a library book. You can upload that in here. If they have give you an email and you have access
So
to
I've got 18,000 active library cards.
if every one of those 18,000 have submitted an email, more than likely they have made a Facebook
We've
account,
got
buddy.
about half.
So,
I got about 9,000.
let's say we want to build an audience based off everybody that has ever engaged with our Facebook page. I mean, you can do whatever you want to do. I mean, it's just endless. If you want to build an audience based off of everybody that has ever watched a video, you can build an audience. What we'll do is we'll drive traffic with a nice video. We'll just keep driving traffic. Get the video count up to about 50,000 views. Then we'll turn around and retarget back to those people with a different ad. So you can say, I want everybody that watched the ribbon cutting video from 12 Basket Bakery or wherever, and you could just turn around and drive traffic to those people. So it's pretty endless. So if I want to do everybody that has liked my Instagram account or anybody that has liked a post off of Instagram can. So it's pretty thorough. But going back to what we were looking at. Which was where we're here. Engagement. Those audiences can be generated from here. What I can also do is once you have created, I want everybody that has engaged with this Facebook page for the past 365 days, what you can do is say, I want to build an audience that is a 1% lookalike based off of everybody that has engaged with that Facebook page. You'll have people that will have liked interests. What this does is tells Facebook, I want everybody who has engaged with this Facebook page that looks just like these folks. There'll be some common denominator. I have no idea what it is. There's something there. What this will do is when you create that lookalike audience, it'll give you an audience that's never engaged with the public library Facebook page. It'll give you a group of folks that probably will. You can set it to a 1 to 2%. You can set it to a 2 to, if you're really searching and you're not sure what your audience is, you can back up and do maybe a 2 to 5% lookalike. So it's pretty intuitive. Does anybody have any questions online? Roger just must have it pulled up because he's usually pretty tight. Love you too, Roger. Let's see here. Let's go back to once all that's all you've gone through all these steps. You can do manual placements. You can say I want to be here and here. Or I to begin with, I would just do everything automatic and just let the tools do the work. The last but not least is your creative, which is the most important part. You can set all this up as right as you possibly can, but if you don't have good content, it's not going to matter. People are going to want to look at something that catches their eye, it's flashy. And here you can go from creating using one of your past posts. So you've posted it to the Facebook page, but I want to use a past post. Or you can create a totally separate post that hasn't ever been on the Facebook page. We can come here and we can build it out, whether it's the same way as making a Facebook post. So you don't want that ad to run on the Facebook page itself, but you want to create an ad. This is where I'm sure everybody's heard of, I want to run a dark ad. Well, that's what it is. It just means just don't post to the page. Here, this is where we can set up our tracking information. Let's say if you have a website, and you're trying to drive traffic to that website, this pixel here keeps up with it. And that's really about it.
So as I'm building this, somewhere in there, it's got to say you're now going to hit 500 people, or 500, okay? And it's going to cost X amount to send that.
Yeah. These numbers here on the side are pretty accurate. Let's say I want to do a daily budget of $100 a day. Based on the parameters I've given it here, which is I'm going to do anybody that's engaged with the Facebook page plus a 2 to 5% lookalike. Well, that one time it didn't give me that, but I mean, it's pretty accurate. It's going to tell you here, I'm going to reach anywhere from 1,000 to 4,000 people a day, and I'm going to average anywhere from 63 to 183 engagements. Okay. I mean, it's going to tell you, and they're going to make sure you get it because they want you to keep spending your money. Yeah. Does anybody have any questions?
Feel free to unmute yourself or post any questions in the chat. And Jason will be happy to answer for you here.
I know it's a lot of information, really fast. If you do want to learn more about it, Blueprint.
Laney asked in the chat if you'd be doing lessons on Google Ads in the future.
Yeah, we probably could do that.
Yeah, I can let Will know there's some interest there.
Yeah,
If you'd be interested in coming back.
I am Google certified. And now officially Snapchat certified. So we can run ad on Snapchat too. So
Snapchat has huge ad features as well.
huge ad features. And they're very similar to Facebook. It feels like they kind of stole. Once you learn this platform, you pretty much can do all the other platforms.
And if you're talking about advertising to a younger audience, that's Snapchat. That's all Snapchat.
Yeah. If you want to reach 18 or under, that's where you want to be.
Well, all right, Jason, you wrapping up here? Or?
Yes, sir. Thank y'all so much. Again, I'm Jason Gwen. Look IT. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions. I'll be glad to help you any way I can.